Yo, welcome to another video. So I know I've been out of the loop for a little bit, but for those who don't know, a month ago, or around a month ago, there was this event called ER Conquest, where pretty much people had to play the game and climb as much as they could in the rank ladder for 2 weeks. So that event I was involved in, which took a lot of my time. And then after that, just climbing the rank ladder on normal streams, I've been able to play the game a little bit too much. I'm currently at 435 rank games played and currently sitting on Mithril. So I wanted to make this video to let you guys into the tips and tricks and the ins and out of the rank system and what I've learned along the way on how to climb more efficiently. That way everybody can get the rank rewards for this season, which for those who don't know, the rank skin will be on Bianca, so you want to make sure you get this skin because you will not be able to get it any other way later in the future if you miss it. So let's make sure we're climbing to gold, and without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing I want to point out, it's the rank system itself. I would think I need to explain it for everybody to understand how everything works, especially for those who have not started playing rank yet. So how does the system work? Right here in the summary tab, when you're in the main menu, if you go to your profile and you go into your league or in your summary, you can hit rank tier info. So this is where you can find all the number stuff. These numbers might change in the future, so you make sure you know how to get to this part in case they change it if you're watching this video later than the current recording date. But yeah, so let me summarize what this means for you guys. Eternal Turn uses a system very similar to Apex, where you have an entry cost that gets deducted from your RP at the beginning of the match, depending on your rank. So if you're Iron just starting out, you don't have any entry cost, so you can only earn RP, you can't lose. And then as you go up, it will start to increase. So for example, me on Mithril, it's currently 55, and as I go up, it will deduct more and more points whenever I just start. So if I start a game and I instantly die, I will lose 55. So now how to earn. I want to say the game is heavily weighted towards kills. So as we see here, eliminations and downs, it's where most of the points will come from. You do get a good amount of points on placement, but I think placement, more than the points itself that they give you, it's important for a different reason. One of the most important things you can make sure is getting high kills, but after getting high kills, you want to make sure you're getting top 3 or more. That is because once you get to top 3, your kills actually get max value. So before your top 3, your kills are actually multiplied to be 4 or 6, depending on your placement. And on top 3 and further, they become 8. So then you get the max value out of all the kills that you got. So that's what you want to be aiming for. You want to make sure you're always getting top 3. That way you can always get the max value out of all the kills you did in that game. And also a good chunk of placement, because it also jumps from 10 to 20. Which is quite good. So that's what we want to be aiming for. So if you are having like a very good game, for example, what I would do, let's say I have like 20 kills, but there's 6 teams alive and it's like day 4. In those cases, instead of trying to run down teams because you were really strong, you might want to consider the option of just playing it safe, letting some of the other teams kill themselves, make sure you're in a good position, just to make sure you get yourself a high placement. And after that, once you're guaranteed to earn, then you can start playing a little more aggressive to try to win the game. Of course, that won't always work for everyone, but the good advantage is with the new rank system, you can see your RP counter at the top at all times, so you can live check your progress of how good or bad you're doing that game and make decisions accordingly. So that is a good thing that we have on this new rank system. In terms of that, another thing about the RP system that I want to mention is that's not highlighted here, it's escape. So I talked about escape in my previous rank video. That was more for like a solos rank back in season 9. But now on release on 1.0, it's all squads. Escape is still a thing. The way escape works is that if you manage to escape, you will get flat plus 10 RP. So if I am in a game and I am minus 20 and I manage to escape, I will get only minus 10. So it will be a flat 10 no matter what you do. Even if you escape and then another team also tries to escape and you kill them in the dock, you will not get any RP from those kills. It will still just be flat 10, which they might change in the future, but currently it works that way. So escaping can still be good. Regardless, some games are just very impossible when both of your team dies, especially after day 5 and you can no longer win the game. Trying to escape almost always will just be the best way of mitigating LP loss. So make sure you are trying to escape if you can. I think I myself have 19 successful escapes, which is definitely the highest number of escapes I've ever had ever. But it's still a very small number considering the amount of games that I have. So that's a thing to keep in mind. It's not easy to escape a lot of the times. It's pretty difficult. Outside of that, I guess that's how the RP system works. So now that we covered how the RP system works, so we won. So we want to focus on kills and downs. I would say my strategy going into most games is utilizing the free respawn times of day 1 and day 2, where you still respawns without any extra cost, to play as aggressive as I can. That way I can get a lot of RP early on, and then later into the game I can start playing a little bit safer, where I won't be punished as hard. One of the most required skills for the new rank system, especially playing squads, is to make sure you get out of the fight if you think you're gonna get wiped early on. A lot of people in lower elos struggle with that. A lot of people just go all in, try to win the fight no matter what. When a lot of the times, if you get one down and then both of your teammates die, it's fine to just go back because you just got one kill there for free, and that's just RP right there, right? You don't have to go all in. You need to make sure you're pulling out, that way you don't get wiped, because an early wipe will be, like for me, an early wipe means minus 55 right away, and that is exactly not what I want to see. So that's one of the core skills that people need to develop, especially in the early stages. So playing aggressive while also not instantly getting wiped. Also, additionally, battle zones, I think it's one of the things that are being really not taken advantage of in the lower elos. I think a lot of the times I see battle zones being completely free, and that doesn't make any sense, because battle zone kills, well, they're only 3 and they don't scale like regular kills. Battle zones are still really good objectives to contest because there's no risk involved in taking it part of them. You will always get something out of them, even if it's just mastery. And if you get any kills in there, it's still just free RP that you got without any risk. So I would definitely recommend battle zones to get RP. I guess on top of that, objective wise, I think for the most part, I've seen most players decide to just not TP them too much and run that risk and just go to the closest objective that they have available. I'm not sure how much that's like what I want to do. Once again, if you're snowballing a game, you always have to make the decision of like, we're having a good game, do we play even more aggressive to snowball even harder, or do we take it slow because we are really likely to just win RP if we play slow, right? So that's the decision you guys are gonna have to make. Personally, I like to play slow until I'm guaranteed to be plus, or take fights that I'm very certain that I'm going to win, but that is my own playstyle, and that's not the same for everyone. Talking about playstyles, you're gonna be playing with, if you're solo queuing, which I know most of us are, then you're gonna be having to play with people that might not match your playstyle. Some people play very safe, some people play very aggressive. You just want to make sure you're pinging and that everybody is making like the same decisions. If you're going into a fight, make sure your entire team is committed into that fight. If someone in your team doesn't want to fight, you pull out of that fight. Try to stick with the team as much as you can and try to make the same decisions by using in-game pings, and I guess typing as well. You can use in-game chat to like make sure you guys are all on the same page, even if you have conflicting playstyles. On top of that, another thing about solo queue, so for all my solo queue warriors, team compositions is a big topic that a lot of people talk about. A lot of people say that you have to have a tank no matter what if you want to have a good game. In my personal opinion, I think you don't have to have a tank or like a really good team comp to win or do well. At the end of the day, I think it comes a lot of like the players being really good, and not just the players being really good, but with the characters that you have, being able to identify your strengths and weaknesses and change your playstyle accordingly is going to be very important. But I will say having a tank and a good team comp makes the game infinitely easier, just because you're gonna have a big clear idea of what you can do and you can't do, and it's going to open up a lot of different options having a really good team comp, and be real easy for you to spot your win conditions in fights. So in general, I do think it's a huge advantage to have a good team composition, but I don't think it's impossible to win if you don't have one. So I would just try my best every game, especially for people that are similar to me, who are just one tricks and we don't really have a good character diversity. I think it's better for us to stick on the character that we know, rather than try to play like a tank or something that we're not used to, and then if we just don't perform and then our entire team dies because of it. So on that note though, while I am at a one trick or a two trick, however you want to call me, Recently, I've been actually playing other characters. The reason being is I wanted to test that out if playing different characters would start affecting the way I would earn RP by adapting to my team comps and things like that. I want to say it definitely does. If you actually go ahead and start learning different characters at the beginning when you're learning, especially if you're like me and you just play at rank in order to learn rather than go play norms, you're gonna get taxed with a lot of your RP. You're gonna start losing quite a bit. But I think at the end, if you actually manage to get better at those characters and they actually cover the roles that you're not good at playing or that your main character doesn't fulfill, having that variety there for different team compositions can be very useful and can make the RP climb a lot easier. So if you're a solo queuer, you might want to start learning a few of the characters if that will make it easier. But reminder, you will lose a lot at the end if you start playing in rank. So don't expect to see immediate climbs just because you're trying to change characters. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about my solo queue warriors, and that's because, well, I know a lot of people out there don't have friends, but I want to say the ultimate way to climb in this game is by far to just get friends. I think climbing with people is 10 times easier, especially because the queues are not separated. So if you play with a 3-stack, you're gonna go into solo queuers, and having that communication and the fact that, you know, you're just gonna have character synergy if you guys are all playing around each other, it's just gonna make things easier. It reduces a lot of the variables around the games. And it's a lot easier to learn. So in general, it just makes the game way easier. So I would definitely say to try to get a 3-stack if you can, if you're just trying to climb. But I'd remind you, if you're trying to climb past gold and you want to make it all the way to mithril, like me, for example, once you hit mithril and above, you can no longer 3-stack. So at that point, then you're gonna have to pay attention to all those solo queue tips if you want to climb any higher, because you're in hell. It's kind of rough. Everybody's kind of losing their mind over the teammates they get every game, and it's kind of like, okay, well, did I get another mithril player? Did I get a diamond player? It's all over the place, but I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun having all these different variations and teams and trying to learn all of it and play with different people. As well as I have fun playing with my friends every now and then. So I think I'm enjoying the new system overall, and I hope that you find anything useful. Just as a quick last section, I'm going to be rapid firing any tip that can come to mind, a little bit more unorganized. So stay with me a little bit longer for the last few tips. Tip number 1. Remember console visions. A lot of people are not paying attention to console visions because they kind of got nerfed. They last a lot lower and they give a lot worse vision per zone, but those things are still very important, especially if you're trying to escape or rat as a last person trying to revive your team. It can be very important for you to know where the vision spots in each zone is, that way you don't get spotted by other people, because if you do get spotted as a solo, you're gonna get ran down instantly because everybody wants the kill credit on you, and they want your entire team to get wiped. So be very careful with those vision spots. Try to learn each zone and where they are, as well as just try to get vision on the different zones when you enter a new zone, as it will be very important. I think it's very valuable to know that information. Additionally, in terms of vision, or I guess map awareness, whenever you craft anything, it's very likely, if not guaranteed, that you will make a ping on the minimap. I don't know how many times I've had teammates in solo queue where we're trying to ambush an enemy that's running towards us under our vision, and we're waiting in a bush, right about to go and like catch them off guard, and then they craft a camera or like any item, and then it will make a ping, and then the entire strategy is just ruined. Just because people just often forget that crafting makes pings, and so that's one big tip. Please, I don't want to see anybody else doing it. It actually drives me insane every time I see it. It's like, please just don't. We don't need that one camera. You can wait. But yeah, that's that. And then another tip would be, if you're trying to escape, you can technically be greedy because your placement points, you can wait all the way up to the last second, because the moment you go into the dock, your placement gets locked. So if you're top 4 whenever you went into the dock, then you are top 4, and that's it, even if a team dies 2 seconds after. Now if anybody dies right before you go to the dock, and then let's say you get top 3, then now you're top 3, and then now all your kills are worth it. So you could in theory greed your escape placement and rat a bit longer in the island if you can. but once again, it is a bit of a greedy play, so it is up to you if you decide to do that. But that is how that works. In terms of characters and comps, I do want to say if you're climbing the ladder and you're solo queuing, learning what other characters do is gonna be really important. There's so many different characters in the game already. We're close to 70, I believe, and you're gonna have to play with and against all those characters. So with the amount of variety that we have in solo queue, I definitely recommend people start learning one of the few characters. Soon, I'm going to be releasing a video that is going to be talking about every character that has like an instantly lose condition. So aka a character that has, for example, Daniel, where he has a, if you don't see him coming, you're just one shot and you immediately lose because you didn't know what he does. Characters like that, I'm going to be displaying and mentioning every character and every small little detail that could instantly make you lose a fight in a future video. So that's one of the videos I'm currently cooking, and I hope that helps a lot of the people that make mistakes due to their lack of knowledge in the rank games that I run into. But yeah. Outside of that, that's all. I'm sorry this video was a little bit less edited or a little bit more rushed out. I'm currently cooking like 3 to 4 videos, and I'm like editing them, all of them, just because I can't sit still and do just one. And I'm sorry that I was gone for so many days or weeks. So I'm gonna be trying my best to upload. But yeah, with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. If you found anything interesting or you learned anything new, please drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.